Alright, today we're going to be doing a DRG stimulator implant. And first thing we want to do is, after the patient's prepped and draped on the table, is we'll start with some marking. So we see here, we're right about L2. We're going to aim for L1 right-sided DRG. So I want to identify the 6 o'clock position of the pedicle at L1, which is just about there. And I'm lining up my needle to be in line with where my skin entry point is, which is about 6 o'clock of the pedicle, 2 vertebral bodies below, so at L3. I think I almost like that position. X-ray there. Good. So now what I'm going to do is just draw a line, outlining the needle path. So I can follow it when I make my entry. So I'll use my pointer needle here. It's a little bit high on that L3 pedicle. That's looking a little bit better. So I enter just below that. So compared to traditional stim, your entry is going to be a little bit steeper, because you're only going 1 vertebral body above. And we want to aim just for that spinous process, just like that. Hug the spinous process. So you touch down on lamina, just about there. So I can feel lamina now. And that's feeling quite good. Okay. Can you oblique towards you 45 degrees? Okay. Can you lower the C-arm? That's good. Okay, so now we can see the lamina of L2 just below the needle tip and L1 just above. So I'm going to advance towards that epidural space. And as I do this, I'm keeping my needle in the path of the line that I drew towards the L1 pedicle. So now I'm getting right to that spinal laminar line, just at the anterior border of the lamina. I'll feel engagement here. Now I'll get my loss of resistance syringe. And now I just get loss of resistance to air. So that feels pretty good. Just get an image to verify that. Now I'm going to insert my guide wire to see how it looks in the epidural space. And that looks pretty good. So can we go to 0 now? So I have the wire in. I want to see how that looks on an AP. Okay, so it looks like the wire is going right towards the L1 pedicle and almost into the foramen. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our stylet and sheath with the stimulator lead in, with the stimulator lead just a millimeter or two beyond the tip of the sheath, just to make it a little bit softer. So there are 2 markings on the sheath that allow us to be aware of when the sheath exits the needle tip. So as soon as this white marking goes beyond the hub of the needle, we are now exiting the needle. The side port indicates the direction at which our curve is facing. So now we're just to the needle tip. We're just going to advance. It's now, you can usually do this under live, but my trajectory looks quite good. I'm going to continue rightward facing until I get into the neuroforamen. So I'm getting some resistance here, so I'm going to back the sheath up until the white marking is beyond the hub of the needle. That indicates that the sheath is totally protected by the needle. I'm going to turn the needle rightward to about 3 o'clock. My side port is also at 3 o'clock to exit out more to the right towards the neuroforamen. The white marking is now within the needle hub, indicating I'm outside the needle. So we'll try again. So now we're outside into the neuroforamen. I'm going to advance the sheath. And I have 2 contacts now into the neuroforamen. I'm going to get that third one just under the pedicle. And advance a little bit more. And I'm almost there. And that is looking quite good. Just a little bit more. Okay. So at this point, I'm happy with my DRG stim lead placement. So what I'm going to do is unscrew and unlock the sheath from the lead. And I'm going to pull back on the sheath and leave my lead in place.